Hello, welcome to the Lanka Vlogs channel. This is a unique revelation about the island of Sri Lanka, Ceylon, which was once known as paradise. Discover the hidden wonders of Mailla Pabbata Vihara, Monaragala. Deep within the Monaragala district lies one of Sri Lanka's most enigmatic archaeological sites, the Mailla Pabbata Vihara. In this video, we take you on a journey through time to explore the ancient rock caves, rare Brahmi inscriptions, and the breathtaking granite formations that have puzzled historians for decades. What makes Mailla Pabbata special? This site is renowned for its massive granite rock caves, which served as a sanctuary for meditating monks in antiquity. The geological composition of these rocks is truly unique, featuring a specific type of high-density granite that has withstood the elements for over 2 millennia. The Japanese research connection. One of the most intriguing aspects of this site is the extensive research conducted by Japanese specialists and archaeologists in the past. These experts were drawn to Mailla Pabbata to study the durability of inscriptions, how the ancient Brahmi scripts remained so well preserved on the granite surfaces, geological significance, a scientific analysis of the specific granite variations found only in this region, cultural exchange, mapping the similarities between Sri Lankan cave monasteries and ancient Asian rock-cut architecture. In this video, you will see ancient inscriptions, a close-up look at the Brahmi stone scripts that tell the story of royal patronage and monastic life. The granite caves, an exploration of the natural and man-modified dwellings used by arahants in the past. Historical context, insights into how this vihara fits into the larger history of the Ruhuna kingdom. Expert perspectives, summarizing the findings of the Japanese research teams who helped bring international attention to this site. Whether you are a history buff, a geology enthusiast, or a traveler looking for off-the-beaten-path destinations in Sri Lanka, this video provides a deep dive into a site where nature and history converge. Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden history content. Hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest explorations. Comment below. Did you know about the Japanese research conducted at this site? The lost monastic civilization of the Monaragala jungles, an archaeological and epigraphical study of the Mailla Pabbata Vihara, and the contributions of Japanese scholarship. The archaeological landscape of the Monaragala district, situated in the southeastern reaches of Sri Lanka, serves as a profound repository of the island's Buddhist heritage and prehistoric antiquity. Among the myriad of sites that dot this rugged terrain, the Mailla Pabbata Vihara, frequently identified in historical and research literature as Miela or Miela Kanda, emerges as a site of exceptional significance. It is a complex characterized by its strategic isolation, its sophisticated adaptation of granite rock formations into monastic dwellings, and a corpus of mural art that provides a critical stylistic link to the royal frescoes of Sigiriya. The scholarly illumination of this site owes a substantial debt to the rigorous documentation efforts of Japanese experts, most notably the research expeditions led by Takashi Okamura of Hosei University in the latter decades of the 20th century. The Monaragala region, once a vital sector of the ancient Ruhuna kingdom, provided a sanctuary for the preservation of Sinhala Buddhist culture during eras of foreign invasion in the northern plains. The Mailla Pabbata Vihara represents the quintessence of the forest monastery, Vanavasa tradition, where the architectural layout was dictated by the natural topography of granite outcrops and the spiritual necessity for seclusion. This report provides an exhaustive analysis of the site's historical trajectory, its architectural and geological features, the stylistic nuances of its art, and the pivotal role of Japanese scholarship in preserving its record against the dual threats of environmental decay and illicit treasure hunting. The regional and historical framework of Ruhuna monasticism. To comprehend the significance of the Mailla Pabbata Vihara, one must situate it within the broader socio-political and religious framework of the ancient Ruhuna Magama kingdom. Throughout the Anuradhapura period, Ruhuna functioned as an autonomous or semi-autonomous bastion of the Sinhalese monarchy. The region's geography, characterized by dense forests and massive rock formations, favored the establishment of meditation-oriented monasteries that were distinct from the metropolitan complexes of the capital. The historical roots of the region are deeply intertwined with the early introduction of Buddhism to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BCE. While the Mahavihara in Anuradhapura served as the administrative center of the faith, the southern provinces saw the rise of the Pabbata Vihara tradition, monasteries built upon or around mountain peaks. Sites like Monaragala, Girikumbila Tissa Pabbata Vihara were established as early as the reign of King Lejatissa, 116–109 BCE, providing a precedent for the large-scale monastic development seen at Mailla. The Pabbata Vihara typology and its regional evolution. The architectural standard known as the Pabbata Vihara is characterized by a standardized arrangement of 4 central edifices: the stupa, the bodhigara, bow tree shrine, the patimagara, image house, and the uposathagara, chapter house, usually situated on a raised rectangular platform. However, in the forest-dwelling variations found in Monaragala, this symmetry was often adapted to the rugged granite terrain. The geological and architectural profile of Mailla Kanda. The Mailla Kanda archaeological complex is centered on a massive granite hill that extends approximately 1.2 kilometers in a north-south direction, rising to a peak of 78 meters above the surrounding jungle. The geology of the site is dominated by Precambrian gneiss and granite, materials that the ancient architects manipulated with remarkable precision to create durable monastic spaces. The granite cave, sanctuaries, and drip ledge engineering. The defining feature of the Mailla complex is its extensive network of granite rock shelters. These caves were not merely natural cavities. They were systematically modified through the carving of katarama, or drip ledges. These ledges, carved into the upper face of the rock, serve to redirect rainwater, preventing it from seeping into the cave interiors and destroying the mud-plastered walls and mural paintings. The architectural layout of these caves often included internal partitions made of brick and clay, creating distinct chambers for meditation, sleeping, and storage. In the main cave at Mailla, Cave A, the scale of construction is particularly impressive. The western side of the cave entrance measures 14.6 meters in width and 2.7 meters in height, providing a spacious sanctuary for the site's most significant religious icon, the recumbent Buddha and sacred statuary. The centerpiece of Cave A is a massive recumbent Buddha statue, measuring 11.6 meters in length and 1.6 meters in height. Constructed primarily of brick and clay, the statue reflects the stylistic preferences of the middle to late Anuradhapura period. This type of construction, where a core of masonry is covered with a fine layer of plaster and painted, was a common technique for large-scale icons that were sheltered within caves. The vulnerability of this material, however, has led to significant degradation. The statue has been a primary target for treasure hunters, who have excavated the torso and head areas in search of relic deposits, Nidhan. Despite this damage, the remaining structure provides vital clues regarding the proportions and iconography of the Ruhuna artistic tradition. Similar large-scale statues are found at Mayuragiriya, 18 feet, and Budupatuna, suggesting a regional preference for colossal representations of the Buddha in his Mahaparinirvana, final passing posture. The summit, stupa, and ritual space. At the pinnacle of the Mailla rock hill lies the ruins of an ancient stupa. Though heavily weathered and reduced to a platform of approximately 9 meters in diameter and 2 meters in height, its location at the highest point signifies the spiritual hierarchy of the site. The stupa was built on a rectangular platform measuring 7 meters east to west, a feature that aligns with the Pabbata, or mountaintop temple tradition. The ascent to this stupa would have been a ritualized journey for the resident monks and visiting pilgrims, symbolizing the movement from the mundane world of the jungle floor to the sacred height of enlightenment. The contribution of Japanese scholarship. The Hosei University missions a pivotal chapter in the modern rediscovery of the Mailla Pabbata Vihara and its surrounding ruins is the research conducted by Japanese experts from Hosei University, led by Takashi Okamura. These expeditions in 1985 and 1993 provided the first systematic documentation of a region that was largely inaccessible to local authorities due to civil unrest and the sheer density of the jungle. The 1985 exploration, mapping the Wila Oya Basin in August 1985, the Hosei University Exploration Club embarked on a mission to identify hidden ruins in the Kumbukan Oya and Wila Oya basins. The team's approach was rigorous and arduous. They navigated through primary forests, often walking for kilometers along dried-up riverbeds in extreme heat. One report notes that several members of the Japanese team suffered from heat stroke during the trek to the ruins of Patuna. During this mission, the team identified and documented several sites that had been lost to the jungle tide. They utilized local guides from villages like Kotiagala and recorded the physical dimensions, architectural layouts, and current conditions of sites like Mailla, Patuna, and Habesa. Their documentation was particularly valuable as it captured the state of the ruins before the most destructive wave of treasure hunting in the 1990s. The 1993 Mission and Damage Assessment. Takashi Okamura returned to the Monaragala jungles in 1993 for a confirmatory research visit. The situation had changed drastically since 1985. The escalation of the civil war and the targeting of villages like Kotiagala by militant groups had created a security vacuum that treasure hunters exploited. The 1993 mission documented the tragic destruction of statues that had been intact only 8 years prior. At Patuna, the team found that the head of the central Buddha statue had been struck away and a flanking Bodhisattva statue destroyed. At Mailla Konda, the detailed site plans produced by the Japanese team highlighted the presence of 6 patas, rock pools, on the southern slope and multiple rock shelters, reinforcing the idea that the site was a major residential complex for hundreds of monks. Academic impact. The 1999 publication, the culmination of these research visits, was the publication of the report titled Ruins of the Ancient Ruhuna Civilization in the Jungles of Kumbukan Oya Basin in Tokyo in 1999. This work introduced the global archaeological community to the sophisticated Mahayana and Theravada legacies of southeastern Sri Lanka. The Japanese interest was particularly piqued by the Mahayana influences, such as the Buddha-Bodhisattva triads, which suggested a theological link between Sri Lanka and the wider Buddhist world of East Asia. Artistic heritage, mural traditions, and Sigiriya influences. The mural paintings of Mailla Konda represent one of the most important surviving examples of regional art from the Middle Anuradhapura period. The frescoes, found primarily on the roof of Cave A, demonstrate a level of sophistication and stylistic continuity that links the remote monasteries of Ruhuna to the royal artistic traditions of the capital, stylistic affinities with Sigiriya. Archaeologists have noted striking resemblances between the Mailla paintings and the 5th century frescoes of Sigiriya and the nearby Cobra Hood Cave. This similarity is not merely coincidental, but suggests a common artistic lineage or the movement of guilds of craftsmen between different parts of the island. Floral and geometric designs. Above the head of the recumbent Buddha at Mailla, the ceiling is decorated with floral patterns and figures enclosed in circles on a red background. This use of a vibrant red base for decorative motifs is a hallmark of the classical tradition. Geese, Hamza, motifs. The paintings feature a square with floral designs and geese arranged in alternating square and oval shapes. This specific pattern is almost identical to decorative elements found at Sigiriya, where the swan or goose, Hamza, symbolizes the ability to distinguish between good and evil. Female figures. The presence of female figures in the Mailla frescoes, often described as similar to the Sigiriya maidens, suggests that secular or celestial imagery was frequently integrated into monastic art to represent the various heavens or attendants of the Buddha. Iconography of the elephant. The elephant holds a central place in the iconography of Mailla Konda. Researchers have identified 4 distinct artistic features in the depiction of elephants at the site. Dynamic water sports. An elephant engaging in water-based play, jalakrita, capturing a sense of movement and naturalism. Ritual devotion. An elephant carrying a lotus flower in its trunk, symbolizing the animal's role in worshiping the Buddha. Active motion. A figure of an elephant that gives the impression of being ready to run. Perspective study. A frontal view of a moving elephant, demonstrating the artist's advanced understanding of foreshortening and perspective. Additionally, an intricate ceiling design features an elephant within a circle with its tail bent, a detail that highlights the meticulous nature of the monastic artists. The coexistence of Veda rock art adjacent to the classical Buddhist murals, the Mailla complex contains a unique layer of indigenous art. In the Hatharas Gulch cave and other nearby shelters, researchers discovered prehistoric or Veda rock art. These drawings are fundamentally different from the Buddhist frescoes. Medium. Created with simple pigments like white clay, ash, or mud, often applied with the fingers. Style, primitive and symbolic, featuring sketches of figures riding elephants and various wildlife. Significance. The presence of this art indicates that the rock shelters were inhabited by Sri Lanka's Aboriginal population, long before the formal establishment of Buddhist monasteries. In some cases, as at Monaragala, the Veda art occupies the higher caves while the Buddhist complex occupies the lower shelters, suggesting a stratified use of the landscape. Epigraphy and the socio-political history of Ruhuna. The granite caves of Monaragala are also important for their epigraphical wealth. Early Brahmi inscriptions, typically found on the drip ledges of the caves, provide a record of the individuals who patronized these establishments. The Brahmi record and local dynasties inscriptions in the Monaragala and Yala sectors, dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, frequently mention a mysterious dynasty known as the Dasaba kings, Dasa, Baraja, Parapura. These rulers used the fish as their royal emblem and are believed to have controlled the southeastern part of the island. The inscriptions at sites like Kotadamu Hela and Demaragala record the donation of caves by members of this lineage, such as the Lady Abi Savera or the Minister Baraya. At Mailla Kanda, the inscriptions follow the standard formula. The cave of name is given to the Sangha of the 4 quarters, present and absent. These records are crucial for several reasons. Legal validity. They served as deeds of gift, ensuring that the cave belonged to the collective monastic community rather than an individual. Socio-economic data. They reveal a hierarchy of donors, including royals, ministers, amataya, physicians, veja, and lay devotees, upasaka, upasika. Linguistic evolution. The transition from early Brahmi to later scripts at nearby sites like Rajagala and Pilakama, 4th century CE, tracks the evolution of the Sinhala language. The geology of granite and ancient engineering. The selection of granite as the primary building material for the Mailla Pabbata Vihara was a choice driven by both availability and the material's inherent properties. The Monaragala region is part of the highland complex, characterized by high-grade metamorphic rocks, quarrying and construction techniques. The ancient builders employed sophisticated methods to harvest and shape granite. Evidence from quarry sites in the Monaragala and Anuradhapura regions indicates the use of the wedge and water technique. A series of holes would be chiseled along a line in the bedrock. Wooden wedges were then inserted and soaked with water. The expansion of the wood would split the granite along natural foliation lines. At Mailla, this engineering is visible in the interlocking blocks, used for structural walls and anacuts, where stones were carved to fit together without the need for mortar, ensuring stability against the jungle tide. The drip ledges, carved with a 15 cm width and 10 cm depth to handle heavy monsoon rains, often including grooves that funneled water into rock-cut cisterns. Statue foundations. Large granite slabs were used to provide a stable base for the colossal brick and clay statues, preventing them from sinking into the forest floor. Crystalline limestone and ornamental stonework. While granite was the structural mainstay, crystalline limestone was often used for sacred imagery. At the nearby Viharamula site, a 2.1-meter headless Buddha statue made of crystalline limestone reflects the Amaravati stylistic tradition. The use of this marble-like stone, which was often imported from other regions of the island, added a luminous quality to the inner sanctums of the cave temples. The tragedy of the jungle tide, vandalism and conservation, the Mailla Pabbata Vihara, and its contemporary sites in the Kumbukan Oya Basin face a dire existential threat. The very isolation that once protected these sites now makes them vulnerable to systematic looting. The impact of treasure hunting. The reports from Takashi Okamura and later local researchers provide a grim account of the destruction. Treasure hunters are motivated by local folklore suggesting that golden treasures are buried within the hearts of Buddha statues or the relic chambers of stupas. Methodology of vandalism. Looters often set up elaborate scaffolding and use chemical cleaning or even small explosives to breach ancient structures. Loss of knowledge. When a statue's head is struck off or a stupa's center is excavated, the historical and archaeological context of the site is permanently lost. The damage to the Mailla recumbent Buddha is a prime example of this irreversible loss. The role of modern technology in conservation. To combat these threats, there is an increasing move towards digital heritage management. As seen in the collaboration between international experts and the Sri Lankan Department of Archaeology, Technologies such as GIS-based heritage inventories and GPS mapping are being used to create a permanent record of even the most remote sites. Japanese-led training programs have also focused on risk management and the preservation of cultural property, aiming to equip local researchers with the skills to address both human and environmental threats. The documentation produced by the Hosei University team in the 1980s now serves as a baseline against which modern damage is measured, proving the enduring value of their early scholarship. Synthesis: the enduring legacy of Mailla Pabbata Vihara. The Mailla Pabbata Vihara stands as a profound monument to the spiritual and artistic heights achieved by the Ruhuna civilization. Its unique combination of Sigiriya-style frescoes, monumental granite architecture, and early Brahmi epigraphy makes it one of the most significant sites in the Monaragala district. The work of Japanese experts like Takashi Okamura has been instrumental in ensuring that this lost monastery was not entirely forgotten. Their expeditions through the arduous terrain of the Wila Oya Basin brought to light a civilization that successfully integrated human creativity with the raw power of the granite landscape. The coexistence of Veda art and classical Buddhist murals at Mailla further underscores the site's role as a bridge between the island's prehistoric roots and its sophisticated Buddhist future. As this research report has demonstrated, the Mailla complex is not merely a set of ruins, but a living testament to a period when the forests of Monaragala were centers of learning, meditation, and high art. The preservation of these sites is not only a national duty for Sri Lanka, but an international imperative, as they represent a vital chapter in the history of global Buddhism and South Asian antiquity. The meticulous records of the 1985 and 1993 missions remain the most critical tools for any future restoration and conservation efforts, highlighting the indispensable role of cross-cultural scholarly cooperation in protecting the world's shared heritage. If you want to know more about such amazing and rare special information, subscribe to our Lanka Vlogs channel now and click the bell icon to be notified as soon as we post a new video. Have a good day.